Welcome to the Adventist Information Network. I am Natalia Nancis, recapping the news for the month of March locally, regionally, and internationally. To our top stories, skip to Myloo in 2022. Camp unmasked. Udazzle fashion ruler. And our business buzz with Corbin Local Wildlife Park. The Adventist Information Network.
The Inter-American Division held an evangelistic series called The Footprints of Hope. And it did leave some footprints in the sand when over 6,000 souls walked into the watery grave of baptism. Over 30 of that 6,000 were from Tobago. Pastor Glenn O. Samuels, a district pastor and the president of the West Jamaica Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, was the prolific preacher for the Footprints of Hope. He is prominent in Jamaica where he resides. Mahatma Gandhi said the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service to others, and Pastor Glenn Samuels does just that. He preached sermons like Divine Slide in Your DM, LOL, Unbelievable, The Beast in Your Bed, and Urgent Email, Dying Without Living, and many more. Which was your favorite? I know mine was Bad Dreams, Restless Future. Why, you ask? Well, he shared a testimony with university students who were distressed, and it encouraged me. Footprints of Hope was aired on multiple channels, such as West Jamaica Conference, the Caring University Church, and even right here on ASI Media Tobago. So if you missed it, you can check it out. Just type Footprints of Hope and you're sure to find it. It was a blessing to many, and I am sure it will be a blessing to you. I am Anya Nero. Back to you.
In times past, we knew camp to be on the social calendar for the youths and older folks alike. Due to the ongoing pandemic, however, any plans of having such an event were unfortunately cancelled. Sister Kathleen Kwashi, determined to make it happen this year, created the virtual camp, Unmasked. Carisia tells us more.
Joining with the Mount St. George district here in the Mount Pleasant village. Now we will go and ask a series of questions to the camp mastermind, Kathleen Kwashi. So, virtual camp. What was the thought process you had to make this become a reality?
Well, the virtual camp experience was really an inspiration from God. I remember awaking one morning around 2:30 and the idea just sprung out. In my mind, it came across like, okay, you are not hearing anything being advertised about camp at Carnival. Why not have a virtual camp experience, seeing that you have been managing the virtual space at your church, well, at my church, at Sandy River Church, for over 2 years now, and I've been training other people how to manipulate on the virtual space. I said, why not plan a virtual camp? And then I got up and I started writing. I wrote the entire script for the camp, from theme song, camp text, units, everything related to camping was documented as a proposal, which I was able to share with other churches and groups and with the boards in the district. That was the idea behind Camp 2022, the virtual experience.
Okay, great. So, what would you like for us to walk away with? What lesson or experience you would like us to walk away with this year?
The idea behind the camp is twofold. One, to relive the experiences the elderly folks had when we used to hold these physical camps. For example, people like Brother Wood and Sister Lee, those were seasoned campers when we used to do it physically. So we wanted to relive that feeling that always lingers with them. With the young people now, remember we are in the 21st century, and we wanted to showcase to them that, hey, although everything is being done virtually, you could still have fun online, you could still socialize online. So it was a blending, of the old and new, the old with the new, the old way of doing things and the new way, the new world in which we are living now, where our young people have taken over the virtual space, the technology. So it was like merging the both. And it was a beautiful experience so far. It has been a beautiful experience so far. The young people are all excited. The hype is there. And on the virtual space, yes, it was possible.
Okay. What are the districts that are included in this camp?
Yes, in this experience, we have the Far North District, the Mid North District, Near North, and we have Mount St. George, right? Previously, in the physical camping, we used to have, we come together as districts, the North District, right? So we wanted to relive that feeling, get it back on, how it used to be, long ago. So we really wanted to bring things back together and let the young people know, hey, we can still have clean, healthy fun among ourselves.
Okay, and last question. What is the name or what is the theme of the camp this year? And can you share a few of the unit names as well?
Wow. The theme of the camp is Unmask, the virtual experience, and we will also tie it in with watching the time. Watch the time. The song is Troublesome Times Are Here, Filling Men's Hearts with Fear, right? That's the camp song. And we have some units, and the names we use names that are current in our jargon here with this current pandemic and the time in which we are living. So we have names like the jab, O Corona, Give Me 6 feet, please. I think those are the few I can remember now. And we also have, for the children's section, the name of their group is Too Young to Jab.
So I'm here with Glendola George from the Monks St. George district. So Glendola, in comparison to physical camp, which do you prefer, virtual or physical camp?
Well, honestly, I would say I prefer physical. Physical, physical is it. You can't beat physical. Why? I would say, I don't know, I just enjoy going with, church members, I could say, pitching your tent, just enjoy looking over and say, hey, you done pitch your tent, that little competition and kind of thing. I don't know, I just love the face-to-face vibes, right? That's all I could say, the face-to-face.
And what unit are you in?
Okay, so far the virtual camp is really interesting. What I'm enjoying mostly about it is, well, of course, with COVID, we can't be close together, but we are still able to come together on a platform, communicate, keep in touch, and it's really nice. Also, I think, too, it's nice how you have people coming in from way Jamaica. You can't really have that in a face-to-face camp, so that's really interesting. And I am in Unit 1. Oh, Corona. Yes, Unit 1, coming for them.
How are you liking this virtual camp so far?
Yeah, well, I am very impressed. I'm impressed about the whole idea, because pandemic has hit us a blow with camp, and I like the innovation and so on that I see, you know. Well, I have a son coming here, so I have, I am here as a visitor, and I like how the camp, well, they encourage people in units, you know, like families and so on, to see how they could create their own experience, you know. And I like what I see here, you know, these are mostly family members or church members, and they came together, right, and tried to observe all the different protocols and so on, and enjoy themselves like, you know, it was like a real camp, you know, the food was good, the interaction, you know, the program. I was very impressed. The different focus on the programs and so on. I was impressed with that this morning, you know. So I think it's a very good idea.
Which unit's name stood out to you the most?
Give me 6 feet, you know.
Many persons want to lose unwanted weight, but are hindered by their lifestyle and prioritizing movement. Pastor Frederick has spearheaded the event Skip to My Lou, which encourages us to incorporate skipping into the everyday lifestyle. This event was launched at the Sid Gray Sporting Complex. Over to you, Jenny.
Hello viewers, I am Janae Campbell coming to you from AIN News, and we will be covering the launch of the Skip to My Lou competition hosted by the Tobago Mission of SDA. Stay tuned as we have a lot of skipping in store. What was the inspiration for hosting the Skip to My Lou initiative?
Well, I became the health director in the year 2020 or at the end of 2019. And I love exercising. I grew up right here in this village of Roxborough. Played football at this stadium, even played with Sid Gray, yes,
Right.
at this stadium. And so when I became health director, I realized that we as a people, we don't move enough to promote health. And so I wanted to encourage movement. And so we started with Move to Live ministry as a
Right.
result of having what is known as a Move to Live Day as an annual event in Adventism throughout the Caribbean region. And so coming from the Move to Live Day, I decided to have a ministry that would encourage movement not just once a year, but for the entire year. And so Move to Live had its struggle during the pandemic time
Yes.
period. And so as we were coming out of the pandemic, if I could put it that way,
Yeah.
yes, you know, I realized that skipping was a passion of mine when I was smaller. And it has somehow gone out of style because everybody is on their device. But it's a great way of getting active, remaining active, and becoming healthy. And so Skip to My Lou came to mind.
Wow, interesting, indeed interesting. And you know, we are here and the event is over, but tell us, you know, how do you rate the turnout and the support for this venture?
I was totally blown away by the turnout. I'm amazed
I was too.
by how many individuals. And not only did they come out, because we had a registration form,
Right.
but sometimes individuals are a bit, you know,
Yes,
they don't want to
Yeah.
do those things. And so, but they came out and they decided to participate. And so that was very encouraging. And so I'm looking forward to the next event.
Right, and as you are speaking about the next event, I would like to give you the opportunity to tell us more about the other events, because I know today was just the launch. So tell us about the exciting things that are to come.
All right, so we have the Skip to My Lou zonal activities. We have it on April 10th, June 5th, August 28th. We will be coming back to the East Zone. I'm not too sure if we will be coming back to this location,
Right.
but we will be coming back to the East Zone, that is from Mount St. George to Charlottesville. And then we want to finish off on November 20th in the Southwest Zone. That would include Bonaccord, Canaan, Bethel, and those areas. But on April, we want to be in the central area, the Scarborough area. And then in June, we want to be in the North Zone. That is from Mount Grace all the way up to Lansford. We want those villages to be included in this activity. And so we will be having some of the same events, but we will have some other events as well, like Iron Man. Yes, so we're looking forward to doing such. And while we are preparing for those events, we will be encouraging individuals on a daily basis to participate in activities that would promote their health and their well-being.
What is the end goal of this initiative? What do you all hope to achieve?
The end goal that we want for this initiative is that we realize that we have many unhealthy individuals in Tobago, in Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean. Individuals suffering from a well-known word since 2020, which is comorbidities. And so we want to reduce comorbidities. We want to reduce the impact of lifestyle diseases on the population. We want a healthy Tobago so that perchance another virus outbreak happens, that there won't be as many deaths because we are resilient because of strong immunity and healthy bodies. That's the end goal of Skip to My Lou in 2022.
We are here with the Honorable Assemblyman, Dr. Faith B. Israel. And tell us, what are your thoughts on this Skip to My Lou initiative hosted by the Tobago Mission of SDA?
This is an amazing event, and it shows that NGOs, it shows that non-government organizations can actually take the lead in ensuring that our communities are healthy. I am so proud of what the SDA has done today, because they are showing us that we could have good fun, we could have clean fun, we could have exciting fun, and it could actually be healthy for us. So I am really, really happy that this happened today in Roxborough to start off.
I know this was just the launch. Can we look forward to seeing you in any of the other events?
Oh, I will definitely be at the other events.
Well, we do indeed look forward to seeing you, and it was such a pleasure speaking with you, and we hope that you continue to support the work of the Tobago Mission of SDA and other NGOs in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And right now we are here with
Carissa Lovelace, representing Mount St. George.
Big up the Georgia posse. So Carissa, tell us about your experience participating in this event.
This event was a really great one. It was really fun being with everyone despite the COVID pandemic, you know, being here, socializing physically instead of on the Zoom platform and stuff. It was really, really good.
And I know you would have won the freestyle competition.
Yes.
Tell us, how was your preparation for this? Was this something that was spontaneous and you just came up with a routine on the spot, or you have been practicing for a long time?
I've been practicing this. Well, throw back to primary school days, you've been practicing your X's and your different techniques. So I remember that today, and I was like, right, I'm going to use this technique here, and yeah, I had to bust my moves, and I win a slow cooker.
Can we see you in any of the other activities coming up as a part of this venture?
Maybe, maybe not. I'm not
maybe,
sure.
Maybe not. Well, we want to see you there, and hopefully you might win another prize.
Hopefully.
All right, so we are here with another participant in this Skip to My Lou competition. Tell us about yourself.
My name is John Jordan, and I'm from Mount St. George as well.
You know, we just spoke with Carissa from Mount St. George, so it seems as if Mount St. George really shelled down this entire competition.
Yes. When we come to events, we come to shell down the place. We come to take everything, as you can see.
As you can see, so show us your prize. What did you win?
I won a juicer. You know, I wanted a juicer for years now, and what I got this juicer today, I feel so happy.
Well, I'm glad that you would have participated in this competition, and you were indeed able to win this juicer.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time.
We have been continuously reminded of the 3 W's. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and watch your distance. Little Jewel's Early Childhood Center has recognized fully the need to be pandemic ready and have put these measures into full effect for the resumption of school. Our correspondent Brianna tells us more.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome. With me this evening is Auntie Della, a member of staff of the Little Jewel's Early Childhood Center. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm fine.
Right. Tell us a bit about Little Jewels Early Childhood Center in terms of the founder, when the school started, the student capacity, the teachers. Give us a little insight about the school.
Little Jewels Early Childhood Center began in 1997. We began in a little building just up the road from where we are presently, and we moved next door. Now we are at our present location, a school built.
Resident home for the school.
Yes, resident home for the school, finally. Yes, and this is where we are presently. The school was founded by one Miss Kathleen Quashie.
Yes.
Her inspiration was to have quality education right here in her home village, Mason Hall.
That's wonderful. But I also understand that the school has a school song. What is the school song, if you mind sharing?
Yes, well, we have two school songs.
Yes.
One is when he cometh to make up his jewels.
Yes.
And the other one is the school song, Yippee Yo, come over to Little Jewels and see what they're doing just for me.
Oh, wonderful. So, with the return of the physical school soon, I know that safety is going to be key for both the parents, the teachers, and students, right? Give us a little walkthrough as to the protective measures that you would have put in place for the return of school.
Well, seeing that we have been hearing that, physical school will be opening, the staff took a proactive measure. So we began preparing for physical opening since last year. Right? So there is a sink. When they come through the gate, there is a sink where they would wash their hands.
Wash their hands, right?
Then they would proceed to come into the building where we have a step pad.
Oh, so we're following the arrows?
Yes, so we follow the arrows, and there's a step pad.
Yes.
Where they would sanitize their shoes.
Yes.
Then they would proceed to the building, inside the building.
Yes.
Where I will sanitize their bags and their clothes.
No problem.
Yes, so this is my sanitizing gun. After which they come and get their temperature check.
Right.
And then they have a QR code where we scan the QR code, make sure their temperature is up to mark, their name and everything. And then they proceed, following the footsteps to the cubby, where they would put their bags.
Okay. So I see that on the table, we have like the different glasses protecting the students as well. Right, so if there's anyone in the virtual space who would also like their friends and family members to bring children to Little Jewels Early Childhood Center, give us some contact information. Is it that you are on social media like Instagram, Facebook?
Yes.
Tell us.
We are on Facebook. We are also on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, Little Jewels Early Childhood and Daycare. And our contact number is 635-1309.
Oh, is there an email address also?
Yes, we also have an email address, littlejewelsearlychildhood97@gmail.com.
Okay. So as I close, I know that you all are soon and so ready to open to welcome back the students. Can you just close us off with one of the school songs?
Okay. So our school song, this one is Yippee-Yay, Yippee-Yo, and the children really love it. It goes like this. Now if you want to get along, learn to share and sing a pretty song, come over to Little Jewels and see what they're doing just for me. We exercise, we paint and draw, make designs by blowing through a straw. Come over to Little Jewels and see what they are doing just for me. Yippee-yay, yippee-yay, come a yippee-yay, yippee-oh, yippee-oh, come a yippee-yay-oh. So that's just part of the song.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right, so Miss Hazel, we have the students playing behind the the preventative bars and stuff, and you see the sanitization process to come in the school. How do you feel about it as a parent?
Well, I should point out that this is the first time that my child is coming to school at all, right? And given the measures that Little Jewels would have, put in place, it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable, because we do know that COVID is very serious. Yes, and the fact that they would have gone this extra mile to put all the preventative measures in place, it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. The level of anxiety that I may have had is reduced. Right? Yes.
And you sure would recommend the school to another parent as well?
Well, yes, I definitely will recommend Little Jewels. Online was phenomenal, right? My son started here at 2.5, well, 2 and 4 months, right, doing the online. And I have no doubts that it will follow through to the physical space. Yes.
So, Ms. Ali Thomas, how do you feel about the safety measures that are in place at Little Jewel Preschool?
Well, for me, I must say it's exceptional. It was, you could see that it was well thought out. And the layout, I mean, from the screen guards for the kids. As a parent, you feel comforted and assured that, okay, when your child comes out back to physical school, they're in a safe, clean environment.
Right.
You know, I was also taken aback when I saw the arrows giving the direction to which the children had to walk, from the washing of their hands and the sanitizing pads. I mean, it was well thought out, and I am comforted. And for sure, welcoming the physical school for him. So I'm proud of them.
Thank you.
Yes.
Trinidad and Tobago is world-renowned for the invention of the steel pan, one of the best musical instruments. Once again, we are being highlighted due to another invention that will take the world by storm. The Udazzle fashion ruler was invented by Mrs. Rona Eastman Jack. Her story speaks of persevering beyond all obstacles and serves as an inspiration that you and I can be inventors as well. Listen up as she speaks to us about her story and her process of patterning her invention and how you too could be inducted into the Inventors Hall of Fame.
This Udazzle fashion ruler is one of a kind. It comprises an L square, hip curve, French curve, and calculator. It is collapsible with 360-degree hinges, which make it convenient for drafting. The ruler is paired with a customized case, making it perfect for those in the fashion and garment construction industry. The Udazzle fashion ruler.
I am here today in the very room of the inventor of the Udazzle fashion ruler. In the world of fashion, there's a buzzing name going around, and as a young seamstress, I needed to meet you. So tell us a bit about you.
Oh, my name is Rona Eastman Jack. I'm originally from Palatovia, but I live at Switzerland now. I have been sewing since I was 10 years old.
Wow.
Where I won special prize for needlework. And that was always my dream job, to become a seamstress.
Okay, so what motivated you to create the Udazzle fashion ruler?
Well, while going sewing class, I found the long sewing rulers a problem. They always swaying in the bag.
Correct.
So I decided I'm going to invent a ruler. And I named the ruler the Udazzle fashion ruler.
Okay, so take me through the process where you faced challenges creating this ruler.
Well, the problem, drawing the ruler was not a problem. The problem was I did not have the finances to patent it at the time. So I hid it in a drawer for 9 years until I heard about the Prime Minister's invention competition, where I won special prize for the Udazzle fashion ruler.
Okay, so after you won special prize, what did you do after that?
Well, after I won special prize, I researched all the avenues in where I wanted to go. And I wanted to license my product in the United States with a company. So what I did, I filed a patent in the United States, I filed a patent in Trinidad and Tobago, and I started the process looking for companies to license my product to. But that was in August, and in October, Cariri decided to open the IES program, whereby they decided that they're going to license people's product in Denmark.
Okay.
So Cariri now found a company that I can license my product to. But it did not go smooth sailing because the guy, which is Shuvgan Gardner and Associates, he did not want to manufacture. He wanted me to manufacture, and he sells the ruler.
Okay.
But I did not have the finances to do that. So I was continuing looking for companies until eventually he decided he will manufacture and sell, and I license it to him.
Okay, so I also heard that you filed for a trademark for your special mark for around the world. What's that about?
All right. Trinidad and Tobago has now come into the Madrid Protocol. The Madrid Protocol is whereby you can file one application and pick designated areas that you want your trademark to go into.
Okay.
By doing that, you eliminate the lawyers and you eliminate translation fees. So now you file the trademark and then you pick the areas that you want to file in, and they will now examine your trademark to see if you will get it fully covered.
Okay, so on International Women's Day, you were celebrated. How was that for you?
Oh, it was awesome. I had 2 of my children there, and I had designers and people from Kariri, people from Export TT. It was awesome. It was really, really awesome to know that I reached this stage where it's final, and the company that they originally chose for me is the one who licensed my product. So it was a celebration for them and a celebration for me.
Okay. So, I heard that you were inducted into the Hall of Fame. Can you walk us through that experience?
Well, I file a utility certificate. That's another type of patent. And when I got that, now I am inducted into the Invention Hall of Fame because now I have the patent for it.
How did you feel being inducted in the Inventors Hall of Fame?
Oh my gosh, I was excited. I was happy. I was happy to know that my children, 2 of my children was there to see their mommy on the wall, and that anybody who comes into intellectual property office can now see Rona Eastman Jack on the wall with her ruler. It was the most amazing thing.
Great. So, last question. Where can we get this ruler?
You can get a ruler in Europe on the Udazzle fashion.ruler.com. That is in Europe. And Trinidad, you can get it from Mr. Factory, you can get it from Parker's in Tobago, and you can get it from Abraham's, and also me.
So, for young tailors and seamstresses like myself, what advice do you have for us?
I would tell you all dream big, and it's a lucrative business. There's a lot of people even coming out of university now who are seamstresses and tailors and designers. So I think it's a lucrative business, and I think that you all can now think about other inventions that you all can create to make work lighter.
So, Miss Jack, it was wonderful meeting you. You know, I am buzzed right now. I really need to get a ruler for myself and my other aunts. So, thank you once more for tuning in with us today.
Not a problem. I really enjoyed this interview with you. You were so warm and welcoming. Thank you.
On Tuesday, March 8th, a Russian missile about 8 meters long struck the courtyard of the Adventist Church in Mykolaiv, Ukraine. With God's help and protection, it didn't explode, but it was buried half in the ground, Adra and Hope Channel say. At that time, there were people in the church basement hiding from the bombing. They prayed and God answered immediately, they added. If the missile had exploded, there would have been nothing left of the church. The Lord continues to protect his children throughout Ukraine affected by armed conflict. Let us continue to pray for Ukraine and Russia. Global Youth Day is celebrated annually in the Adventist community worldwide. This year it was held on March 19th under the theme, I Will Go. Each church creates an initiative that will help the community. Brother Olusegun Trim interviewed a pastor in Grand Cayman about their Global Youth Day initiative. Over to you, Mr. Trim.
Reporting for AIN Network, I am Olusegun Trim. Welcome. Today we are having a special guest with us, straight from the Cayman Islands. We have Pastor Kala Nayak here with us. He is going to be telling us about the youth program they had at Grand Cayman Islands. Yes, we have went regionally, and we have brought news from the Grand Caymans just for you. Pastor Nayak, how are you?
I'm doing very well. God bless you. I'm excited because today globally is GYD, Global Youth Day, be the sermon. And I'm just so thankful for this opportunity to share with you all over there in Tobago and Trinidad and all over the world where this will be seen what's happening right here in the Cayman Islands.
So, Pastor, tell me, how was your Global Youth Day?
Excellent. Thank you so much. We started out at the Seafarers Association building in Grand Cayman, and we had hundreds of young people joining us together for worship to receive instructions. And then we fanned out in the communities of Prospect and Red Bay, and we shared with the community members in prayer walks, prayer drive-throughs. There was a specific group that was commissioned to meet and greet and visit 10 senior members in the community of Prospect and Red Bay. And while they were doing this special visit with these senior members, they received $100 gift card for a special supermarket that we have here, a local supermarket. And so we were able to give back to our community over $1,000, over $1,000 in goods so that they could be blessed. And we thank God for the blessings. And also, in a few weeks' time, we'll be going back to some of these senior members who are really in need to do yard cleanups and clean up their homes and help them in whatever they need. So we are here just to be the hands and feet of Jesus, and we are so grateful and delighted and blessed to be part of this global initiative so that we could also be the hands and feet of Jesus.
Amazing how much work you have been doing, and it seems that it stays in line with your general theme, which was loving the forgotten. So we see you bringing joy to the elderly. What about the youths? How has the drive been for the youths at the ground level?
Oh yes, they have been enjoying it. I spoke with a few of them just now, just before coming onto this interview, and they said they are just so overjoyed. One young man in particular, he said, "Pastor, I was having a headache earlier, but after I prayed with individuals and after I came back, I feel like I'm brand new." And I say to God be the glory. And you know, we have met people in the community of all walks of life, all classes, and they have been truly blessed, and they were welcoming us. Of course, with COVID situations, we were following all of the guidelines and protocols and practices, and but we still thank God that we were able to do so in person this year.
Beautiful. Well, how about the impact for youth on the island? How has ministry been over the year, since the COVID, since 2020 to be exact? How has the youth ministry really been impacted based on the pandemic?
Definitely, that has been a challenge. But we thank God that we are in a digital age, and our young people are digital. Most of our generations, especially Generation Z, they are digital natives. So social media comes naturally to them. So we have been using our Youth Week of Prayers, our different initiatives, even evangelistic initiatives. We have been involving the gifts and talents of our young people, just like yourself, using social media to be able to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so we are on top of it. Yes, we have challenges with mental health issues have been increased, especially in this pandemic, and we have been reaching out through our AY leaders, through our Pathfinder ministries, to encourage and equip and impact our young people in a positive way. There will always be challenges, but once we have Jesus on our side, he will give us the success. And we continue to empower our young people so that they too can be digital missionaries for Jesus.
Okay, before we leave, we just want to have one quick story from you about your youth and what truly made an impactful statement in your life when you were growing up. Really, really want to thank you for being on, Pastor. We really want to keep on praying for your ministry. We really hope that we see you in Tobago soon. Maybe you can come here and fire up the youth for more missionary work. It was nice meeting you all the way from Grand Cayman. This is Udazzle Trim, turning over back to the studio.
Pastor Campbell and Pastor Richards are soldiers on God's battlefield. Armed with the word of God, they journeyed into southern Belize to do battle in the name of Jesus. It is important to follow where the Holy Spirit leads, and God will move mighty mountains for his ministry. God will provide another church in the middle of Mayan settlement in Santa Rosa. Pastor Campbell and Pastor Richards, under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, baptized an entire church, including the pastor of that said church. Let's listen to their story.
Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Adventist Information Network. I am Udazzle Trim, and this is regional and international news. We are blessed to have Pastor Campbell here from all the way from Southwest Belize, and he has an amazing testimony to share with us. Pastor Campbell, how are you?
I'm doing very good, sir. Nice to be here, to be in your program.
Pastor Campbell, I would love to speak about your last missionary endeavor. I believe that you brought with you Pastor Richards.
Yes, I live in the west part of Belize, but I went to deep south. We call it southwest because our mission is in the southwest. I'm in the west, he's in the deep south. And so all of us went down to the south. I went to his district. And
then Pastor Richards.
We call him the presumptuous pastor. He did stuff that none of us wouldn't do. Yeah, Pastor Richards.
Pastor Richards, do you want to give us a little insight on the missionary work down in deep South Belize?
Yes, let me give an insight into the missionary work where I am. I am in the, well, you would say the second aspect of the southern part of Belize, the latter part of the southern part, then you hit the borders of Guatemala. And where I am, I give you a little background, we have like refugees from different parts of Central America. We have like a Garifuna community, which are native Africans. And then the area where I went now, we have what we call the Mayans and also the Quechua folks. But the wonderful thing about it is that everybody here speaks English. And so basically, you know, here is where I came to set up with Pastor Campbell. We had 10 pastors that came into the southwest, or the southern part of Belize. But myself and Pastor Campbell, as the Spirit of God led me, I came to the Santa Rosa area, which is really a twin village of Santa Rosa and San Roman. And the truth of the matter is that we did not really plan to do an evangelistic outreach here. My plan was to do it in another Mayan Hispanic community called Trio. But for whatever reason, the Spirit impressed me to do it in the Santa Rosa area. And so I could not really not listen. So I came to the Santa Rosa area. We were given the community center to use. But when I opened up the community center, I realized that it was divided in three. One part of it was a bathroom, one part of it was a storage, and the center part of it was kind of small. I was very disappointed. I actually put my head down and said, Lord, what are we going to do? The outreach will begin in 3 days. We can't get a tent. What are we going to do? And I prayed, and then I walked out. And then I looked to my right, I saw this big church, but I know it's a Sunday church. And I said, like the Spirit said, why not find the pastor and ask him? And so I found the pastor and I asked him, can we use your church to house these evangelistic series for 2 weeks? And without hesitation, the pastor we are seeing in the video, he said, no problem. You could use it. I said, but we are Seventh-day Adventists. They say, as long as you're preaching the truth, it's not a problem with us. And that is what happened as we started, and we began sharing the message. I don't know if you want to ask any more questions as we continue with the interview.
No. This interview is totally just to have a feel about how the missionary work is in Belize. Pastor Campbell, anything you want to add based on your own missionary and work there in Belize?
Well, let me just piggyback on what Pastor had just said. So the invitation was given to me to go to his district to preach in the program, and we went. Our program supposed to be for 2 weeks, but because of the interest that we saw, we end up going for 3 weeks. Now, as he make mention that the area is an area where we have a lot of Mayan. Mayans are the Indians, and I remember one Sabbath we had over 100, right, Pastor? Over
Correct, over
100
100,
Mayans,
yes.
and but these were all females, not one male. The only male among them were children, and those are the children that they carried with them. And when we asked him, so where are the males? One point to a gentleman that was, he fell in the road right there because he had a liquor bottle with him, as if he was drinking liquor, and he fell down off his bicycle, and he was right there. And so she pointed to him and said, "That's how our men are. They live in either they're in the liquor joint, or they're at work, or something." But these guys came to the program. You're talking about over 100. This Sabbath coming, I don't know if the church will be able to hold the amount of people that that would be going to church. So we went there and we preached for weeks. The pastor was there back and forth. So when I get sick, he jump in the pulpit and he preached. But we had a wonderful time there in South.
So the missionary, we heard that the missionary work culminated with the baptism of the entire church. Can you all just walk us through that one great experience?
Well, basically, as we were sharing the message by the middle of the second week, because we were communicating with the pastor back and forth, and he said he loved the message, he accepted the message. And we asked him, and would you be willing to become baptized? He said, I want to become an Adventist, but I don't want to be baptized because I was baptized before. And we shared with him, if you become baptized, we believe that the other individuals of the church, along with your family members, they would become baptized. And he was kind of insisting that, he wants to be a member of the church, but he didn't want to get baptized. And so, another friend of ours who joined us likewise we went and we spoke with him, and he said, you know what, I'm going to become baptized. I'm going to do it. And so, thank God, by the third Sabbath, he became baptized. His daughter became baptized. His niece became baptized. Several members of his church, became baptized. And by God's grace, this coming Sabbath, we are expecting his wife and his sister-in-law and other individuals to be baptized. In fact, this is our 4th week. So we had accomplished 3 weeks, and it was just going so good, that we are actually going on a 4th week. And he never hesitated. He never said, but how come you guys told us you were only going to do 2 weeks and now you are doing the 4th week? In fact, we had the audacity to say to him, this church is going to now become a Seventh-day Adventist church, and we are here to stay. We're not leaving. We're not here just to share the message and leave. We are here to stay, and this is going to be the place where everybody will worship. And God is just amazing.
Yeah.
Praise be to God. Praise be to God. I would really love to thank you all, both Pastor Campbell and Pastor Richard, for being a part of our regional news. We want to continue to be prayerful with you as we make sure and keep you in our prayers, make sure and keep the Miracle Church in our prayers. And we pray that your both ministries are blessed tremendously and you all continue to keep up the good work. To Jamaicans in Belize, we really want to say that God is still working in definitely mysterious ways. Yeah.
Amen.
From all of us here at AIN, we thank you for being a part of our regional news. Good night.
Our icon feature is given to someone who has done exemplary long service while giving of themselves to their community. This icon recognition is well deserved. This person has given of themselves for many years in the ministry of God. He is very humorous, poetic, and wise. Most importantly, he is a man of God. Iritiola will reveal our icon for this month.
Our icon for this month has been a minister for 44 years. He's not only a minister, but he is also an author or a poet, as some may say. He has 2 books out, one named The Voice, full of poetry, and also a book on marriage counseling. He has officiated over 700 funerals and in total 780 weddings. So we are back with another icon, and we have this time none other than Pastor
Scott.
Pastor Irwin Scott. Now, Pastor Scott, you are icon for this week, for this month. How do you feel being here?
Well, now that I know, I feel good.
Okay, wonderful.
I am a retiree. I drive a taxi to keep alive and active. And among other things.
All right.
I plant a garden.
Right, love that.
So these are the things I do.
Presently.
Right. I'm retired from being a Seventh-day Adventist minister from paid ministry.
Right.
So I'm not paid anymore, but I'm still working.
Amen.
I'm still doing ministry.
Is it that you're stopped or you have stopped ministering to persons? Because you say you're a taxi now, you do taxi gardening, these kind of stuff.
Well, taxiing is just another kind of ministering to people.
Right. So you minister to persons, right? I know you to be the one who would officiate or be an minister in weddings and funerals. Is that correct? So I'm going to ask, which service did you prefer?
Well, I prefer weddings. But I don't have a problem with funerals.
You don't have a problem with funerals?
Not really.
So it wasn't emotionally, an emotional burden?
Well, unfortunately, I've had to bury a lot of my friends. And that would, touch some emotion and so on. But before I was a minister and involved in, I had a problem with dead people. But when I got into the ministry, it became a normal part of my job. I realized that living people are more necessary to fear than dead people.
Yes, yeah.
Because I never saw a dead person do anything to anybody.
So about this marriage, we were also having a small conversation, and Pastor hinted that he just, on Sunday, did his 780th wedding, right? His marriage. So can you tell us about that? How does it feel? 780th, Pastor, I give it to you. That's a huge number.
The 781st is coming up the 16th of April.
Okay, Pastor, tell us about it. Tell us about you. You said you love the marriage, that aspect. So tell us about it. What do you love the most? Do you remember all the weddings? Just give us a little insight.
No, I wouldn't remember all the weddings. But I love counseling young people, seeing young people get married, praying and hoping that they stay married.
Amen, yes.
Especially when I see them years after, and they say, Pastor, remember you married me? Most times I don't remember because I married so many people. And I say, how things going? They say, good, Pastor, good. I say, very good. I'm happy for that.
You also said that you don't remember the weddings, but you remember some of the persons. What stands out the most when you're marrying a couple?
Interestingly enough, many times you are marrying a couple, and they don't seem to be interested in what you're saying or what is going on.
Yes, yeah.
They're more thinking of, I don't know what.
What they're going to be doing afterwards, yes.
So when I'm marrying a couple, and you could see that they are paying interest and enjoying ceremony and so on. That feels good.
But what would you give to persons out there? Should I ask you about counsel, or should I ask you about those who want to get into ministry? And you think you could give me a little bit on both?
Well,
Well, counsel for young persons looking to get married.
counsel for young
stuff.
people looking to get married. I would tell them, make sure that you seek counseling before.
Amen.
Make sure that the choice you are making is the right choice, guided. Well, I know about Christianity. And I would tell them that in making your choice, make sure that you consult the Lord first. If you ask Him to help you to make the right choice, and you're really committed to Him, He will do it for you, because He did it for me.
Amen. And for those who want to go into ministry, would you advise it? Did you enjoy your time as a minister, paid minister?
I enjoyed my time.
And you're still enjoying it now? Oh, yes. So what would you give to persons?
One of the things about me is that I have enjoyed my life at every stage.
That is word praise, word
So
of
when I
praise,
was
right?
actively involved in ministry, when I was officially involved in ministry, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for 44 years. And, and when I was retired, when I'm retired now, I enjoy my retirement. I enjoy doing gardening. I enjoy doing taxi. I enjoy everything.
That's good.
I think that
That's
when
good.
you have Jesus, you have a sense of enjoyment. Paul said, you know, I glory in my afflictions and in all the good things and in all the bad things that happen, because bad things happen to Christians also.
Yes, it does.
But Jesus says, my grace is sufficient for you. My strength is made perfect in weakness. So as a Christian, you could afford to rejoice in everything, in every aspect of your life.
Gotcha. So you're telling our audience here today, those who are interested in getting counseling, or well, counsel on marriage, to seek God, have Him as your first counselor. And for those looking to get into ministering, enjoy every single step
And make
of
sure
your
you
journey.
don't, make sure the ministry is a different kind of profession.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure that you are really called into the ministry.
Most
You
importantly.
didn't choose it because, well, you can't choose it because of the money, because it isn't the highest paying job.
Right.
But I have known people who I believe didn't choose the ministry because they were called.
Oh.
And many times they get out of it before the time. So make sure it is a calling from God.
Calling, most importantly. So we are putting God first in every single thing.
Every single
ministering, coupling.
Because God didn't cut out
courting.
everybody to do the same thing.
Yeah.
He didn't call everybody to be, you know, an official minister, although we are all ministers. Once we are Christians, we are supposed to be leading people to Christ. But as the Bible says, every God gave different people different gifts, and He gave some the gift of pastor and teacher and so on. And He gave some other gifts. He didn't give the pastors all the gifts, and He didn't give everybody the gift of pastor.
So true. So Pastor Scott, I'm sorry, but we have to cut our conversation short for now. Well, for those online, those viewing. So Pastor, one burning question. What made you get into ministry?
Well, as I said, ministry is a call. And if you love the Lord and the Lord calls you in the ministry, it's very hard to resist that call. And He shows you in the many different ways that He's calling you in that direction. And in my experience, you don't feel happy or fulfilled until you answer the call. So that's what made me get into the ministry.
So even as a youth, you were guided by God all the way. Would you say that?
Yes.
In terms of your path
I
in
was
life?
born into Assembly Adventist Christian home. And I never had any intention of turning my back on the church or on the Lord. But I didn't always want to be a minister.
Oh, okay.
But the Lord, as I said, the Lord called me into it.
And you see, we
Many
have...
of my good, well-wishing friends encouraged me not to go into the ministry.
Whoa.
But I'm glad now that I didn't take the advice.
I know you're a poet, you know. Do you consider yourself a poet, Pastor? No?
Well,
Yes?
Sparrow said 16 million Frenchmen can't be wrong. Which everybody tells me that.
Okay, all right.
I have to accept it.
Would you say, you know, over time, that helps you, you know, develop into, well, further your talents? Because now you're writing poems that I enjoy. I'm a youth, you know? So do you think that over time, you know, ministering and all that helps as well?
You know, they say practice makes perfect.
Oh, yes.
So the more you practice something, the better you become at it.
Gotcha. All right.
So I've been practicing poetry from the time I was a child. So I have a lot of practice.
Pastor, do you have a book? A book out where we can just read your poems or read your...
Yes,
Yes,
I
you do.
did publish a book. Unfortunately, it sold out as soon as it came off the press.
The Voice by Pastor Irwin, by Irwin Scott. I would be searching for that book. I will be, and I'm sure you guys will be too as well. So there we have it, our icon, Pastor Scott. Interesting man indeed, right? He has some milestones going on. 44 years in the ministry, and then he just officiated his 780th marriage, and 781st is coming. As a family member said, I might be the 800. I don't know. It might be you. But let's stay tuned for that, all right? Thank you, Pastor, for joining us. I'm Eritula Ogis, and back over to you guys.
Get the buzz in our business buzz segment as we creature feature. Nestled in the picturesque hills of Mason Hall is the Corbin local wildlife. This reserve is a nature lover's dream, known for its local wildlife such as snakes, agouti, quenks. Over to you, Ginny.
Hello viewers, I am Janae Campbell reporting to you live from AIN News, where we bring coverage of good Christian news and adventure. We are here at the Corbin Local Wildlife Park, and today we will be exploring some of the exotic wildlife that we have here in Tobago. Can you tell us about some of the animals that you have here presently?
So we have a few animals. Well, again, we mainly focus on the local wildlife of Tobago. So we have animals you would see running around, maybe in your yard sometimes, like agoutis, in your fruit trees like coquelicos, even parrot. We also have iguanas, snakes of different kinds. We have turtles as well, freshwater turtles and land turtles. We have caiman, the animal we normally refer to as the wild pig or the wild boar, which is actually called the quenk, and a few others.
Wow, that's quite interesting, and I am really looking forward to see some of these animals right in front of my face. But how did you reach to this juncture? How did the Corbin Local Wildlife Park come into being?
Right, so at the moment, well, how everything started is that my father actually used to be a hunter.
Right.
So the reason he became a hunter is because back in his day, when he was probably my age or a bit younger, the only way you could interact with the wildlife of Tobago is by hunting, by going and catching them and so forth. So over the years of him hunting, he realized a lot of the animals were disappearing, or they're not as big as you used to see them and so forth. And he decided instead of hunting, he'll start protecting and rescuing the animals instead. And that's how everything started. Because we originally had a farm with sheep and goat. You might see some of them in the background behind.
Yes, they are.
So I grew up around the different animals, and then later on my father started the wildlife park, and I got introduced to a lot more of the animals I didn't even know Tobago had. Because I didn't know Tobago had armadillos and well, a lot of the other animals.
That's a fun fact for me as well, because I did not know that we had armadillos either. But you know something that is also interesting? In the name you said that it's a park. Why not call it a zoo?
Well, one of the main reasons why we don't call ourselves a zoo is because, well, unlike zoos, what we do is that we rescue animals we rehabilitate them and then we release them back into the wild. Zoos don't normally do that. They normally get animals for show and so forth. When we get animals, we nurse them back to health, release them into the wild, and we also have a breed and release program, because currently on the island a lot of our wildlife population is very low. So we try to have almost all of the animals we have here on the park breeding to someday release back into the wild to bring back up the wildlife population.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Corbin. It was a pleasure, and I am looking forward to you showing us some of the animals that you have inside.
Right, so these are the green iguanas. These are one of the local animals we have in Trinidad and Tobago. So these guys were raised in captivity. That's why they're so calm at the moment. And they are also very unique animals. All of the animals on the island have at least one thing that I would say makes them unique or special. And for the iguanas, they have I would say two things. The tails, they can lose the tails and regrow them. So 2 inches behind of the back legs, there are different joints, and the iguanas can release their tails at any one of those joints. If, let's say, a predator or any kind of animal trying to harm these animals were to hold them by the tail, so if an animal holds them here, they can release the tail here. If an animal holds them here, they can release the tail here as well. And the other thing that makes these guys pretty unique, I don't know if you guys would be able to see it, but there's a small little dot in the middle of its head right there. So most people refer to it as the third eye. And it's like a mini antenna for these animals, and it actually helps them to predict the weather. So let's say if it's going to be a very sunny day, you would see iguanas high up in trees, out on branches taking sun, and if it's about to rain, before it even rains, you see these animals going in to take shelter. That's thanks to that eye in the middle there. Yeah. Right, so the animal we have in here is nocturnal, which means it sleeps during the day and only comes out at night. So he might be a little angry when I wake him up. So locally we call this animal the manikou, but the actual name for it is the possum. A lot of people look at these animals and then decide they want to eat them. And normally we recommend people not to eat these animals especially. The main reason for that is because they are our #1 scavengers in Trinidad and Tobago. So because of that, we like to call them the garbage man of the forest, because they clean the forest floor by eating any and everything they come across. Dead animals, rotting fruits, that's their main diet. And as you can see, they are very good at climbing. Right, so these are 2 of the local varieties of turtles we have in Tobago. This one is what we locally call the gallop. Another name for them is the painted turtle. And this one is the scorpion mud turtle. Now, sadly at the moment, these guys are beginning to disappear on the island, and that is our fault. So the turtle that is being sold in the pet stores is not a local turtle. And at the moment, it is an invasive species. So the ones that are normally sold in the pet stores, they get a little too big for people when they become adults, and people normally release them. And those turtles are very aggressive. So they go into the wild and kill our local varieties. This is the red-tailed boa constrictor. This is one of the most common snakes you would see in Tobago. Well, most people wouldn't see them normally this big, but now with these guys, we know it has a large fear on the island. Once people see snakes, they want to kill them. We always recommend people not to kill these snakes, especially if you see them and you don't want them around, you can call us and we'd come and collect them. Now, this one specifically was actually rescued a couple years back. That's why we normally have her separate. Now, sadly, she was run over by a car when we rescued her. So you might not be able to see it, but there's a big scar going all the way back. Now, when she got that injury, we actually did not expect her to survive. But she pulled through, and now she's pretty healthy. The only problem is that we might not be able to release her back into the wild, because now she has a bit of a breathing problem. So every once in a while you hear her wheezing, like she can't breathe. So because of that, we might have to keep her for the rest of her life. Now, believe it or not, we have 2 problems now. Other than people trying to kill the snakes when they see them, a few people have started to eat these guys. So they're disappearing because of that as well. So if you see the snakes, please call us. We'll come and move them. And if you have friends who would try to eat them, please stop them. Right, so in here we have the red-rumped agoutis. Now these agoutis are very healthy animals. They only eat fruits, vegetables, and ground provision. So a lot of the farmers especially hate them because of that. They are one of the #1 seed distributors on the island. So these guys are probably responsible for planting about 30 to 40%, or maybe even 50, of the fruit trees that we find in the wild. Right, so the armadillos are another nocturnal animal. So I'll have to wake these guys up as well. 9-banded armadillo. Locally we call them the tattoo. The #1 sought after and well wanted wild meat in Trinidad and Tobago. So people love to eat these animals, and they are very expensive to buy at the moment. Now, whenever we are doing tours, there's always one bit of information we always try to give out, and it's on these animals. Now, they might not look it, but these animals are very dangerous. It's more eating them that is dangerous. So these animals actually carry leprosy. So I'm sure all of us know what leprosy is. Now, normally it is more dangerous for the hunters because those are the ones dealing with the fresh blood of this animal. So if they happen to cut themselves while trying to catch them or clean the animal, a high chance of them getting leprosy. Now, if the animal is not cooked and cleaned properly and you eat it, there's a chance of you getting leprosy as well. So we always recommend people to stay away from these animals and not interfere with them.
Thank you so much, Mr. Corbin, for such an engaging and insightful tour of this wildlife center. It was such a pleasure having you, and I trust that more persons will be able to be more aware of some of the local wildlife that we have here and come out and support this center. How can persons get into contact with you so that they can also visit this park and be able to experience the wildlife here in Tobago?
Well, there are 2 numbers you can reach us by, 327-4182 and also 286-3096.
So viewers, there you have it. We are here at the Corbin Local Wildlife Park, and we had an amazing experience touring this park. We were able to see some of the wildlife present here in Tobago, and I trust that at some point in your life you will be able to come and enjoy this wonderful experience. We are here in the great outdoors. God has made us, and He has made all the animals, and it is our duty to ensure that we embrace them, take care of them, and appreciate them. I am Chane Campbell, reporting to you live from AIN News.
Thank you for being with us on the Adventist Information Network. Be sure to join us on the last Thursday of every month at 7:30 p.m. I am Natalia Nancis. Do enjoy the rest of your night. As we leave, here is a video of Pastor Mackenzie and his experience walking on water.